gym buzzed with its usual Saturday energy, weights clanking, jump ropes snapping against the floor, and trainees panting through their drills. But in the center of the mat stood Leo Carter, the undefeated black belt fighter known for his arrogance as much as his skill. With arms crossed and a smirk on his face, he scanned the room like a king surveying his territory. "Anyone else want to try?" he called out, puffing his chest. "Or is everyone too scared of losing in front of the whole gym?" A few trainees chuckled nervously. Others avoided eye contact altogether. No one wanted to be publicly humiliated by Leo. Not again. That's when the cleaning lady walked in. Maria Santos, dressed in her faded blue janitor uniform and carrying a mop bucket, kept her gaze on the floor. She was used to being invisible. She cleaned the gym every afternoon to earn extra money for her son's medical bills. She never complained. She never interrupted. She never drew attention to herself. But today Leo noticed her. He nudged his friends and whispered loud enough for everyone to hear. "Hey Maria, you want to turn? Want to fight me next?" His tone was mocking, cruel, dripping with superiority. The gym erupted in laughter. Maria paused, her hands gripping the mop handle. She didn't look up, but Leo kept going. "Come on," he taunted. "It'll be fun. I'll even let you land one hit, maybe." Someone shouted, "Yeah, Maria, show us your moves." More laughter. Maria finally raised her eyes. They weren't angry, they weren't nervous, they were calm, too calm. "Are you sure you want that?" she asked softly. Leo blinked, surprised that she answered, "Absolutely, it'll be hilarious." A few trainers exchanged uneasy glances. Something about Maria's stillness, her tone, didn't match the room's energy. She set her mop aside and walked to the mat. With every step, the laughter died a little more. "You really want me to fight you?" she asked again, standing just a few feet from him. Leo grinned. "Yeah, why not?" Maria exhaled slowly, almost sadly, as if giving him one last chance to rethink his decision. "Because," she said gently, "you're about to regret it." The gym went silent. Everyone leaned in. No one expected what would happen next. Daniel Reyes, known in the gym as the Black Panther, wasn't used to being ignored. When the cleaning lady simply placed the mop back into the bucket and continued working, the room erupted in laughter again. That only fueled his ego. "Come on," he called out, stepping closer. "One punch, let's see what you've got." But Elena, quiet, small, and dressed in an oversized gray uniform, didn't even look up. She simply wrung out the mop, pushed her dark hair behind her ear, and continued wiping the sweat-covered mats. Daniel clicked his tongue. "Scared? It's okay, I don't blame you." This time she lifted her eyes, calm, steady, unreadable. "I'm not scared," she said softly. "I'm working." A wave of laughter swept through the gym. Someone shouted, "Give the champ a break, he needs to feel tough." Daniel raised his gloved fists. "Just a friendly match. If you land a single hit on me, I'll clean the whole gym myself." Elena gave a faint smile. "I don't want to fight." Behind them, the gym owner, Mr. Grady, walked over. "Daniel, stop messing around. She's here to work, not entertain you." But Daniel had already stepped into the center of the mat. "Elena, come here 1 minute, that's all." She sighed quietly, finally placing the mop aside. The room froze as she slowly approached. Her steps were light, balanced, almost too balanced for a cleaning lady. Daniel noticed it too. His grin faded just slightly. "You don't have to do this," Mr. Grady warned her. She bowed her head respectfully. "It's okay," he asked. "I accept." A hush fell across the gym. Daniel raised his fists, bouncing lightly on his feet. "Ready?" Elena didn't raise her hands. She simply stood with a relaxed posture, knees slightly bent, eyes half closed, as though she had done this thousands of times. Daniel struck first. A light jab meant more as a demonstration than an attack. But Elena wasn't there. She slid to the side effortlessly, like water moving around a stone. The crowd whispered. Daniel blinked. Beginner's luck. He threw another jab, faster this time. Again she dodged. Then a third, harder, sharper. Elena stepped in, tapped his wrist, turned her body, and Daniel hit the mat hard. The entire gym fell silent. Daniel stared up at her, stunned. Elena simply stepped back, bowed politely, and said in the same soft voice, "Your balance is weak." And then she picked up her mop and continued cleaning. The gym had gone from rowdy laughter to a strange, electric quietness. Everyone stood in a loose circle now, their eyes fixed on the unlikely pair facing each other on the mat. The towering black belt instructor, Rylan and Maria. The petite cleaning lady who still wore her faded uniform and rubber-soled work shoes. The mop she had dropped still lay near the wall, forgotten. Rylan tried to shake off the embarrassment of being caught off guard in part 2. "All right," he said, raising his hands, "let's continue. No surprises this time." But Maria didn't rush. She inhaled deeply, grounding herself, her expression calm. Too calm for someone who was supposedly just a cleaner. Something about her stance, the way she shifted her weight, the way her eyes tracked movements. Several trainees were already whispering. "Is she even trained?" "No way, she's like 40. "Dude, my mom can't even bend like that." Rylan moved first, testing her with a controlled jab. Maria slid back effortlessly, her entire body moving like water bending around a stone. Then she stepped in, gave a soft tap to his wrist, and redirected his arm sideways in one fluid motion. Rylan stumbled again. The whispers grew louder. Rylan blinked at her. "What style is that?" he asked, breathless. Maria only smiled. "Old." He came again, this time faster. A spin kick. Gasps rose. But Maria dipped low, one knee brushing the mat, and with a gentle push from her palm against his supporting leg, she made the impossible happen. Rylan fell. Not hard, not painfully, but cleanly, perfectly, undeniably. The entire gym exploded. "No freaking way!" She took him down. "Bro, that was beautiful." Maria immediately offered her hand to help him up, her expression soft, almost apologetic. "You shouldn't use full force on your right side," she whispered. "Your hip is strained. That's why your balance breaks." Rylan stared, stunned. Only a trained fighter or a master could spot that with just one exchange. "You're not a cleaning lady, are you?" he asked quietly. Maria hesitated. "I am now. But before, I taught self-defense to women who had nowhere else to go." Silence fell again, but this time it wasn't mocking. It was respect, heavy, humbling, absolute. Rylan bowed deeply. The gym fell into a hush so thick it felt like the air itself had stopped moving. Every pair of eyes remained glued to the mat where Mia, the quiet cleaning lady, stood barefoot and calm, facing Carlos, the undefeated black belt who moments earlier had mocked her. Carlos rolled his shoulders, smirking as if the outcome was already assured. "Ready to tap out, Miss Mop?" he asked loudly, prompting a wave of laughter from the onlookers. But Mia didn't respond with words. She simply lowered her stance, her face blank, her breathing steady, like she'd stepped out of a different world, a world where she wasn't sweeping floors, but surviving. Coach Ramirez, now pale with realization, tried to speak. "Carlos, don't go full..." But it was too late. Carlos lunged forward with a fast right hook, expecting her to flinch or back away. Instead, Mia pivoted just a fraction, so small, so clean, so technical, that most people didn't even notice the movement. Carlos's punch sliced through empty air, leaving him stumbling forward. Before he could recover, Mia's hand tapped his wrist lightly. It looked insignificant, until Carlos suddenly dropped to one knee, gripping his arm as shock filled his eyes. What did you..." he gasped. But Mia wasn't done. Carlos pushed himself back up, embarrassed, and charged again, this time with full force. His footwork was aggressive, his punches sharp, his kicks deliberate. He was no longer joking. He was fighting. That's when Mia moved. Not like a cleaning lady, not like a gym member, but like someone who had spent years training under masters most people had never heard of. She ducked under a kick, swept Carlos's supporting leg, and sent the black belt crashing onto his back. The gym erupted with gasps. Carlos lay on the mat, winded, staring up at her in disbelief. Mia didn't smirk. She didn't boast. She simply stepped back and offered him a hand to stand. He stared at her hand for a long moment, then took it. "A cleaning lady, huh?" he whispered, shaking his head. She gave a small smile. "We all have pasts, Carlos." Coach Ramirez finally stepped forward, voice trembling as he said to the class, "Everyone, meet Mia Torres, former national martial arts champion." The gym went silent. Nobody laughed this time,